Hello F1 fans, welcome back to another exciting video on our channel, F1 Racing. We need your attention, guys. So, are you ready for some shocking revelations about the McLaren boss? Daniel Ricciardo has finally come forward to reveal the truth about his experience with the team during his tenure. Despite facing numerous challenges, Ricciardo's time at McLaren has been a topic of much speculation, especially after he announced that he wouldn't be driving in 2023. But now, with this recent revelation, we're left wondering, what really happened? Was McLaren's boss to blame for the team's struggles? And the big question on everyone's mind, will Ricciardo be back as a full-time driver in 2024? So, with recent revelations from Ricciardo himself, we're about to uncover the truth about his time with McLaren and what led to make him make the decision to leave in today's video. Stick around to find out as we delve deeper into this fascinating story. So, let's start now. So before we dive deeper into the story, let's have a flashback to the past to learn about the switches made by Daniel Ricciardo. So let us take you on a ride in the world of Formula 1, where the heat of competition is always on and the stakes are always high. Daniel Ricciardo, a talented Australian driver, was a rising star in the Red Bull racing team. He made a name for himself with his aggressive driving style and his signature smile that won over fans worldwide. But in 2018, he did the unthinkable. He left Red Bull. So why did he do it? It all came down to one man, Max Verstappen. Verstappen was the new kid on the block, and he was giving Ricciardo a run for his money. Ricciardo, who had been with Red Bull since 2014, felt that he was no longer the number one driver on the team and wanted a change of scenery. He wanted to prove he could be a champion, but didn't think he could do it at Red Bull anymore. So Ricciardo took a gamble and joined the Renault team in 2018. At the time, Renault was looking to establish itself as a serious contender in Formula 1, and Ricciardo's signing was seen as a major coup for the team. However, his time at Renault was less successful than he had hoped. Despite his best efforts, the car needed to be more competitive to challenge for race wins and podiums consistently. This led to frustration and disappointment for Ricciardo and the team. Nevertheless, during his time at Renault, Ricciardo showed flashes of brilliance and his driving skills were on full display at times. He secured 2 podium finishes during his 2-year stint with the team, including a 3rd place finish at the 2020 Eiffel Grand Prix. In the end, Ricciardo's decision to leave Renault was motivated by his desire to challenge for wins and championships, which he felt he couldn't do at the time with the team. This led him to make a move to McLaren for the 2021 season, where he hoped to find greater success. It was again a fresh start for him, and he was excited to show what he could do in a new environment. Unfortunately, things didn't go according to plan. The car wasn't as competitive as he hoped, and he struggled to get the results he wanted. He finished the 2021 season in 8th place with 115 points, which disappointed him and the team. To make matters worse, McLaren had signed a new driver, Lando Norris, who was also a rising star in the sport. The team saw potential in Norris and wanted to invest in his future. This left Ricciardo in a difficult position. He had to prove that he was still a valuable driver, but he also had to compete with Norris for the team's attention and resources. Ultimately, the pressure proved to be too much, and McLaren and Ricciardo agreed to part ways at the end of the 2022 season. Ricciardo was left without a team, but didn't give up hope. He knew that he still had the talent and the drive to succeed in Formula 1, and he kept his options open. Then, in 2023, an opportunity arose. Red Bull Racing, the team that Ricciardo had left in 2018, was looking for a 3rd driver. They needed someone who could provide valuable feedback and help develop a car. Ricciardo saw this as a chance to prove himself once again, and he jumped at the opportunity. Will Ricciardo be able to redeem himself at Red Bull? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, he won't give up without a fight. He's a talented driver with a passion for the sport and will do whatever it takes to succeed. So watch this space. The story of Daniel Ricciardo is far from over. After joining Red Bull in 2023 as their 3rd driver, Daniel Ricciardo expressed his excitement and appreciation for the opportunity. He said, "The smile says it all. I'm truly excited to be coming back home to Oracle Red Bull Racing as their 3rd driver in 2023. I already have so many fond memories of my time here, but the welcome from Christian, Dr. Marco, and the entire team is something I'm sincerely appreciative of." Ricciardo also talked about the appeal of being able to contribute to and be surrounded by the best team in F1, while also giving himself some time to recharge and refocus. He will be responsible for testing, simulator work, and commercial activities. He expressed his eagerness to support the team in any way he could, saying, "Let's go." Red Bull team principal, Christian Horner, was equally excited to have Ricciardo back in the fold. He praised Ricciardo's talent and character and said the entire factory looked forward to welcoming him home. Horner also highlighted the value of having Ricciardo on board to assist with the car's development and share his experience and knowledge of what it takes to succeed in Formula 1. Although Ricciardo hopes to return to F1 in a competitive seat in 2024, he admitted that his time away from the grid might change his mind. He explained that he knew he wanted some time off from competition and that being involved with the top team as a third driver was the next best thing. He hopes that the experience will either fuel his motivation to return to the grid or confirm that taking time off was the right decision for him. Overall, both Ricciardo and Red Bull are excited about the new partnership and what it will bring to the team. With Ricciardo's experience and talent, he will likely make valuable contributions to the team's success. Daniel Ricciardo, the former Red Bull driver, is back with the team as their third driver for the 2023 F1 season. With key responsibilities that include testing, simulator work, and commercial activities, Ricciardo's role is flexible and sees him become the face of the team in case the full-time drivers, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, are unavailable for certain events. Ricciardo's bubbly personality, racing experience, and history with the team make him a perfect fit for the role. However, it's important to note that this new job is separate from the reserve driver role, which is being filled by Liam Lawson this year. Daniel Ricciardo recently opened up about his departure from McLaren and why he felt it was necessary to move on. Despite not being happy about the situation, Ricciardo acknowledged that sometimes things don't work out and it's best to accept it and move forward. He said it was a results-driven decision, not an issue with his attitude. He struggled to gel consistently with the car, leading to poor results. After the first few races, Ricciardo and the team started discussing the situation and ultimately decided to part ways. Although he didn't want to leave, Ricciardo accepted the team's decision. He acknowledged that sometimes it's best to let things be and move on. Throughout his time with McLaren, Ricciardo learned the importance of perspective and gratitude, especially during tough times. Despite his struggles, Ricciardo remains optimistic about his future in Formula 1 and is eager to find his next challenge. So guys, let's talk about the view of McLaren CEO, Zak Brown, about Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo became the perfect target for the McLaren team's problems because of his failures while driving for the team. Even though he was having trouble reliving his glory days with Red Bull, the Australian driver managed to win McLaren's first Grand Prix in a while. Ricciardo, on the other hand, was the one who continually under the limelight and being thrown under the bus as the team's performance fell short of expectations. However, Zak Brown, the CEO of McLaren, believes that Daniel Ricciardo frequently took the spotlight even though the team was having other difficulties. Brown's comments continue to shift the burden for the team's poor performance on Ricciardo, although the vehicle was not up to scratch to provide the results the team had hoped for. In contrast to Norris's situation, Ricciardo's difficulties were continually in the public eye and remained uncomplicated despite regressing from the previous season's accomplishments. But now that Ricciardo is no longer driving for the team, Brown will need to locate a new scapegoat to blame for the squad's troubles. McLaren's difficulties in the 2023 season have been brought into the open by the fact that the team is presently ranked 5th in the Constructors' Championship. So what was the view of Daniel Ricciardo about his experience at McLaren? Let's talk about it briefly. Daniel Ricciardo has been very upfront about his difficulties during his time with the McLaren squad. He admitted that his poor performance with the company caused him to question his own capabilities. Ricciardo remained a team member for 2 seasons before being released from his contract with 1 year left to go. As a result of the 33-year-old driver's difficulties at McLaren, which included engine problems and lack of consistency, he finished 8th in the 11th in the Constructors' Championships in 2021 and 2022 respectively. Ricciardo did not finish on the podium as frequently during his tenure with Red Bull as he did during his time with Renault, despite winning the Italian Grand Prix in 2021. Before Ricciardo was eventually replaced with rookie Oscar Piastri, McLaren head Zak Brown referred to Ricciardo's troubles at the team as a great mystery. Brown eventually decided to replace Ricciardo with Piastri. After Ricciardo had returned to Red Bull, he reflected on his time spent with McLaren for 2 years and felt that the experience had filled him with self-doubt. Nonetheless, he also admitted to being blamed for the predicament, stating, "I'll always take some responsibility or accountability. For many years, I truly believed I was best and I am the best in the world. So whatever the situation, I'll be able to overcome it. And obviously, with McLaren, it was tough for me to do that. So yeah, I was aware that I'm not the perfect driver. I do have weaknesses, so I'll always hold something on to myself." Ricciardo also stated that he might have done things differently during his time with the team, including asking more questions or holding the team to a higher account over the performance of his car. Specifically, Ricciardo said that he could have held the team more accountable for the performance of his car. Despite this, he does not harbour any regrets or sees the experience as a chance to grow. The current status of Daniel Ricciardo's future in F1 is still being determined, as he does not have a confirmed seat for the upcoming 2024 season. However, he could land a full-time spot in a few potential teams. For instance, Zhou Guanyu and Yuki Tsunoda's contracts with Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri respectively will end at the close of the current season, which means there may be a chance for Ricciardo to join either team if they opt for an experienced driver. Additionally, he can secure a seat at Williams if Logan Sargent fails to deliver in his first year. While Lewis Hamilton and George Russell's contracts at Mercedes will expire at the end of the season, it's unlikely that Ricciardo will move to the Silver Arrows. The chance of Ricciardo getting a seat on the grid for the 2024 season are unclear and depend on various factors, including his performance and strategies in the current and upcoming races, the availability of seats, and the interests of the teams, and most importantly, his own mood, ambition, and decision. So, to conclude today's video, we want to mention that Daniel Ricciardo's Formula One journey has been eventful, with his move from Red Bull to McLaren and now back to Red Bull again. The Australian driver's time at McLaren was not as fruitful as he and the team had hoped, leading to a disappointing 2-year stint that left him questioning his own abilities. However, Ricciardo has learned from his experiences and is ready to move forward. He has his sights set on the future, including the future of Red Bull and his plans to participate in the 2024 season. Although he does not currently have a seat on the grid for next year, he has potential options, including Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, and Williams. It's clear that Ricciardo has high hopes for his future, and he is confident that Red Bull will continue to be a competitive team in the years to come. He has spoken about his admiration for the team and his belief in their ability to continue challenging for race wins and championships. On the other hand, McLaren boss Zak Brown has acknowledged that Ricciardo's struggles at the team were a great mystery. Nevertheless, Ricciardo has taken responsibility for his performance and has admitted that he could have done things differently during his time at McLaren. But overall, it's clear that Daniel Ricciardo is a talented and determined driver who is ready to face any challenge that comes his way. With his eyes set on the future and his passion for racing still burning strong, there's no doubt we'll see a lot more of him in the years to come. So fans, if you have liked this video, hit that like button. Do share the video with your fellow F1 fans, and remember to hit that subscribe button for the latest and exciting news from Formula One. We'll be back with another exciting video soon. Until then, take care and bye-bye.